Good morning from London. It's a wet, bleak autumn morning here in London, and hello to all dear comrades, friends, and supporters from me, Dr. Dermot Hudson, the chairman of the British Group for the Study of the Juche idea, chairman of the Korean Friendship Association of the UK, and the official delegate of KFA for the UK, and of course, the owner of this very self-same channel, Songam 007, the militant voice of Songam and Juche in the UK, defending people's Korea with no ifs or buts. Today, I will pay tribute to Madam Kim Jong Suk, the mother of Korea and immortal heroine of the anti-Japanese war. Today is the 75th anniversary of the passing away of Madam Kim Jong Suk, who is known as the Mother of Korea. Madam Kim Jong Suk is revered by the Korean people as the immortal heroine of the anti-Japanese guerrilla war of the Korean people for independence that was led and commanded by the great leader, President Kim Il-sung. Although there is much talk of women's rights, feminism, and equality amongst progressive and socialist, among progressive and socialist circles in the UK, Madam Kim Jong Suk is an unknown figure to them. But in fact, her example is a very important one that British progressives and socialists and communists should uphold. On my first ever visit to the DPRK in 1992, we visited the Revolutionary Martyrs Cemetery at Mount Taesong in Pyongyang City, which is the final resting place of those heroes who, under the leadership of the great leader, Comrade Kim Il-sung, had taken up arms to avenge the wrongs inflicted on their country by the Japanese imperialists. I was very impressed to see the sculpture of Madam Kim Jong Suk, the great woman revolutionary fighter, heroine of the anti-Japanese war, and the mother of Korea. The sculpture was placed in an important position in the front row, and it looks out over Pyongyang City, almost as if Madam Kim Jong Suk is viewing the socialist paradise that she fought so hard to create. Of course, it is not at all surprising that Madam Kim Jong Suk should be so prominent in the Revolutionary Martyrs Cemetery, as it fully reflects the role that she played in the anti-Japanese revolutionary armed struggle after joining the revolution at a very young age. Madam Kim Jong Suk was the great woman general of Mount Paektu, who fought at the side of the great leader, Comrade Kim Il-sung. In the DPRK, there's actually a number of statues of Madam Kim Jong Suk. The DPRK is probably the only Asian country to uphold, respect, and venerate a woman leader. This is something truly remarkable. It reflects both the great exploits of Madam Kim Jong Suk and at the same time the position of women in the DPRK, a socialist country which grants equality to women. Madam Kim Jong Suk passed away at a young age, only 32 years of age, on the 22nd of September 1949. No doubt this reflected the hard life she had lived, making sacrifices, always putting others first. She was born into a poor peasant family in Haeryong, in the far northern part of Korea. The Korea she was born into was a colony of Japan. The Japanese operated a most vicious colonial rule and tried to obliterate the national identity of the Korean people by forbidding people to speak Korean. It was also a feudal society. Women in Korea faced double and triple oppression under feudal customs. Women were not expected to leave their home. Korean women devised the game of seesaw so they could see over the garden wall. Many Korean women were even deprived of the basic form of education, so could not read or write. Some women did not have their own names, but were just referred to as mother of such and such. It should be mentioned, in fact, it's very important to mention, that the Japanese imperialist occupiers committed the grave crime against Korean women by forcing over 200,000 Korean women into sexual needs have never atoned for this grave crime committed against Korean women. Madam Kim Jong Suk and her family had to endure the extremely harsh exploitation, oppression, and slavery of not only the Japanese imperialists who had colonized Korea, but also the greedy landlords and capitalists. Kim, as, as a child, Madam Kim Jong Suk was forced to turn a mill for a landlord because of debt, in other words, slavery. Madam Kim Jong Suk became very quickly aware of the contradictions of society as well as the harsh, oppressive rule of the Japanese imperialists, so she joined a revolutionary organization at the early age of 14 in September 1931. She soon distinguished herself as a brilliant political worker. She made a deep impression on the people. The veteran, long-term, unconverted prisoner Re-Imo recalls meeting her in the 1930s, not knowing who she was. In September 1935, Madam Kim Jong Suk was admitted to the Korean People's Revolutionary Army, commanded by the great leader, Comrade Kim Il-sung. She quickly distinguished herself as an iron-willed, adroit guerrilla fighter, particularly as a crack shot. She defended the life of the great leader, Comrade Kim Il-sung, on several occasions. More importantly, she defended the revolutionary ideology of the great leader, Comrade Kim Il-sung, and his policies. Because of its arduous and complex nature, the Korean Revolution was not without traitors and renegades. Some rightist capitulationists tried to undermine the guerrilla bases and spread defeatism. Even loyal revolutionary cadres as spies. Madam Kim Jong had strong totally in the Juche-based revolutionary line of President Kim Il-sung. So she waged a struggle to smash the counter-revolutionary opportunists. Madam Kim Jong Suk brought up her son, dear comrade Kim Jong-il, as the future leader of the DPRK, to be a strong revolutionary and leader. After liberation, Madam Kim Jong Suk, without stopping for a rest, threw herself into the work of building a new democratic Korea after its liberation from the long, dark rule of Japanese imperialism. In particular, she paid attention to the questions of women's liberation and was the founder of the Korean Democratic Women's Union. She opposed bourgeois feminism and instead put forward a Juche-based proletarian socialist feminism. This came from her unshakable class stand and belief in the Juche idea of great President Kim Il-sung. In the West, bourgeois feminism has proved highly divisive, setting women against men and diverting women from the class struggle. Thanks to the ideas of Madam Kim Jong Suk and the Juche-based socialist system, women in the DPRK enjoy real equality. Many measures have been put in place to practically guarantee women's equality in society. The DPRK does not have pornography or the capitalist sex industry or the Western sexual culture, which reduces women to pieces of meat. Today, in the DPRK, women are strong, independent minded, and revolutionary. This is the legacy of Madam Kim Jong Suk. The life and achievements of Madam Kim Jong Suk are indeed so very great that the Korean people and revolutionary peoples of the world uphold and study them. In some countries, organizations bearing her name have been formed, such as the Prue Group for the Study of the Revolutionary Activities of Kim Jong Suk and the Kim Jong Suk Women's Union of Russia. Visiting the International Friendship Exhibition at Mount Moyhang in August 2017, we saw the waxwork statue of Madam Kim Jong Suk, which looked very lifelike. Looking at the statue, I recall the great exploits of Madam Kim Jong Suk, Mother of Korea, heroine of the anti-Japanese Revolutionary War, indomitable communist revolutionary fighter, and pioneer of Juche-based socialist women's liberation. Glory to the memory of Madam Kim Jong Suk, the immortal anti-Japanese Revolutionary War heroine and mother of Korea. Thank you for listening to this video today. If you're not already a subscriber to the channel, Sangam 007, please subscribe and share content from the channel as much as possible. And there is also our affiliated channel, Korean Friendship Association of the UK, and I plan to upload a bit of content to that in the next few days. You can buy books which explain the reality of people's career and teach about the Juche idea. There'll be a link in the description, so please buy the books. And I think most importantly, people should support our events and activities. We've got quite a few coming up. We've got film night on the 30th of September. We've got an online meeting on the 7th of October, a real life meeting on the 12th of October to relaunch the British Group for the Study of the Juche idea. And also we're going to have a meeting in Liverpool, probably on the 7th of November, and pick it of the BBC. And there's also the international. So it's all systems go at KFA UK and the British Group for the Study of the Juche idea. Don't complain, we don't do anything. There's plenty of activities. All you need to do is to come along and get involved. Anyway, have a great day and see you all again soon. Goodbye.